What's up, guys? So today I have for you something that the rest of the community hasn't really talked about, and it's been boggling my mind for a long time now. So I just want to show you guys how far I've gotten and see if you guys have any ideas as to what this is. So if you go down into the area right before you pack a punch, on the wall where you get the swords, there are actually cuneiform symbols down on the walls, and they're there all the time. Like, you don't have to be in beast mode to see them, they're just there. And so I started to think, well, they can't be there for just no reason. And so what I did was I wrote them down a long time ago, and I started to play with it and see what I could figure out. And I just wanted to show you guys what I came up with because it's really, really interesting. So first off, you probably already noticed some similarities between the different formulas. I don't know if they're formulas yet, but here's the thing. Whether they're numbers, whether they're letters, whether they're formulas, or whether they're representations of ideas, I can show you all of the similarities between the different equations that are written on the wall. Let's start with comparing all of the equations separately. It looks like each equation seems to start with what I've colored as the green symbol. The next set of red symbols seems to be variable 1, we'll call it. The next symbols, the yellow one, are shown in each of these equations, which leads me to believe that these mean to combine variable 1 and variable 2 somehow together. I don't know how you would combine them yet, whether it's multiplication, addition, some other kind of variable, or some other kind of combination. But then we have the blue symbol, which seems to be an equals. So in each of these equations, we have variable 1 plus variable 2 equals the result. The only one that doesn't have an equal sign is this one over here, and I'm not even sure if it's supposed to stand alone or if it actually goes with a different equation. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so now I just want to kind of show you the comparisons between all of these different equations, I'll call them. There are actually only 4 different symbols that you see that ever get combined, and I've colored them so that we can tell the difference between them. So the first time you get yellow-blue, you get this outcome. Then you combine green and blue, you get this outcome. If you combine green and light blue, you get this, and it seems to get more complicated after each, or for each of these different combinations. So I'm going to put this back down here for just a second, because if you go and actually look at the wall where all of these equations are written down, this one is placed directly after this equation on the bottom here, while the other 3 are just kind of separate all over the walls. But the one other thing that I want to point out is that this symbol up here seems to represent 40 because of the other cuneiform numbers that are on the map. If you ride the train, you can look through the windows, of course, to get the numbers. And according to Google and other YouTubers that have talked about this already, the cuneiform numbers that you use to solve the sword door, the door to the swords, this number seems to equal 40. So if that's true, perhaps it's possible to solve all of these symbols. Maybe each of these is a different number that we haven't seen, and maybe Treyarch has just written it in a completely different way than we would expect. That is a possibility. I don't know if that is what's going on here, but if that's true, I just want to point out that this would be 40, which would make these two numbers, if the middle sign, if the yellow sign is multiplication, this would make one of those numbers a 5 and one of those numbers an 8. Those are the 2 most probable numbers, because if you take the factors of 40, 5 and 8 seem to fall right in line with what these symbols should be. Anyway, that's about as far as I've gotten. If that truly does equal 5, 8, and 40, is it possible to figure out all of the rest of the numbers simply by knowing that? Or is this something completely different? What if these are also could represent combinations of things that you can do on the map? Perhaps like Easter eggs, such as if you perform this step and this step, you get this outcome, while if you perform this step and this step, you get this outcome. Or perhaps it's an order to things. Perhaps this one represents get the swords first, this one represents get the sacrifice next. I don't know. That's completely a different way of thinking about it. I'm sure that has nothing to do with this equation, but that did, so I wanted to throw it out there. Lots of different ideas boiling. I don't know which one's true. I don't know how to solve this. I don't even know if it's solvable. But I do know that David Blundell has been talking about this big Easter egg that's hidden all over the map, supposedly, different arenas that we'll never be able to solve. And everybody's wondering what this one is. Well, the only thing that I can think of that you see in you do see in every single arena of Shadows of Evil, you see these cuneiform numbers, letters, signs, and not only the cuneiform, you actually also see text that looks like Cthulhu text. H.P. Lovecraft had a writing that represented his own language, the Cthulhu language, and I've seen several different variations of it online. These symbols on Black Ops 3 Zombies aren't necessarily those exact symbols from Cthulhu. It looks more like Treyarch has created their own alphabet and numbering system, and I think that there's a lot of things possibly hidden on this map that are written in a different language, and we're going to have to translate that before we can understand what all of it means. And that could possibly have something to do with this giant Easter egg. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys have any idea what this represents, what it means, please let me know in the comments below. And if you find this interesting, because honestly I haven't seen this from any other YouTuber yet. There are lots of big YouTubers. I'm subscribed to all of them, and I haven't seen anyone talk about this. So if you guys think this is important, if you think that it could lead to something bigger, share it. Let everybody know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.